ASBP last trade 16 and a half. It's 1:20 East Coast in this afternoon. And if you give me the next 7 minutes or less, I'll tell you exactly why I'm loading up on what most people consider to be a scam. All that and more coming right up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, it's 1:22 in the afternoon. God bless each and every one of you. Last trade, 1660. Use limit 17 for now. I'm trying to get this as fast as I can by 3 o'clock, so some of you can at least take advantage of this opportunity. I have my notes here because I'm 56 years old as of last week, and I need to refresh myself as to the motherfucking facts. Let's start off by saying this. Do not put any more than 5% into any one idea with respect to your total portfolio. I personally believe you should have half to 2/3 indexed in index funds or ETFs like SPY, QQQ that we were buying a few weeks ago as low as 555, and IWM, which is a small cap ETF. That's 2,600 companies and 3 easy to manage instruments. No more than half to preferably a third. You fuck around and you find out in stocks like ASBP last trade 1660. Again, use 17 limit, meaning don't pay any more than that. Look, let's get this out of the way. Is it a scam? Maybe. If you're over on Clown Town and they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater, they're calling for SEC investigations, the CEO belongs in jail, maybe that's true, but maybe it's not. In fact, I'm going to give you the glass half full version. So if you're carrying a bag or you didn't sell this morning like a lot of us did, right, Golf Troy, at 42 cents just after 4 a.m., stick around. And by the way, my account's with E-Trade. I don't believe in trading at 4 a.m. Why? I think it ruins your quality of life. I think most of what goes on, especially the first hour, including today in that stock, is a fucking scam. And I'll explain why. And just imagine, you're me. You're running a Discord with a few hundred people, and I'm buzzing them at 4:06 a.m. to get out, and they're still sleeping. Can you imagine the fucking outroar? Yeah, so I don't trade at 4 a.m. Enter at your own risk. It's mostly a dump zone that first hour. All right, if you examine the facts, they just completed $21 million of a Series A convertible preferred, a second tranche that's now closed. And if you read the fine print like I did, it says specifically with respect to at least one of them, there's a 30-day lockup. So think about this for a second. If you're the institution that loaned them $21 million in Series A convertible preferred, and then another one that offered 22.5 of a credit facility, which is actually a 5-year loan, do you want the stock running now? If there's a 30-day lockup? No. So what happened this morning? Or what do I think based on 30 years of experience? Half of that as a broker from 93 to 2007. Made all the mistakes, as you already know by now, so you don't have to. Well, the cynics would say massive dilution. Maybe. But what also could have happened is institution A starts passing stock back and forth between them and institution B. It creates the illusion of volume because it was fucking massive. It was 50 million shares the first hour, if not more, most of it over 37 cents a share. So it's back and forth. It's back and forth. Here comes the dumb retail idiots who have no idea what the hell's going on. They start buying the stock, 40, 41, 42. I was telling people, you can see the stock chat wall if you join us in the pinned comment below. If you can trade at 4 o'clock, get the fuck out of Dodge of at least half to 2/3 of it right now. And guys like me that don't have the ability, and I choose not to, as I just explained, had to wait to the 7 a.m. open and down it comes. So they may have been passing it back and forth. Not dilution, but creating a massive short. Why? They don't want the stock to run right now. They'd rather have it run when the lockup ends in 30 days. So they go back and forth. They get a massive fucking short at 40 cents. Let's say it was 30 million shares, mostly in the dark pool. And then they walk it down. Pull up a 1-minute chart in the last hour and a half. It's like an exact stair step. You know what that is? That's a fucking whale with deep pockets running an algo all the way down to 16 and change. Last trade almost 17 on the nose, which is the current limit. Do not pay any more than that. I'm trying to get my average down into the 19s. I did not sell this morning. Everybody else that did, holy shit, they made a fucking killing. And now they're buying back in on my recommendation without going over the limits that we've discussed numerous times in the Discord. So they lay on the big short. They get their algo to walk it down all day, all afternoon. They decide, I don't know, at 15 cents or wherever the hell it's going to bottom out. Let's assume it's now at 16 and change. If you also read the fine print of that tranche, not only is there a 30-day lockup, but the price that it converts at is an 80% discount on a 5-day VWAP. In other words, wouldn't you want to have it way down so you could get your discounted conversion price, I don't know, at 22 or 19 instead of fucking 45? And what's the best way they could do that? Get it cranked in the pre-market, fuck some of you right in the ass, lay on a big short, let it fucking collapse with their help, cover it, smother it for the next several days, maybe even a week or two. And then if the deal closes, because again, if you go back to the fucking press release, they not only have 21 million, but they specifically say with respect to the $22.5 million credit line, which again is a 5-year loan, they don't see any need for further dilution. So let's just assume they're telling the truth. Fully diluted, I see 150, 160 million in terms of shares outstanding when this deal closes, assuming it does. The company they're buying, DCS, does 200 million in revenue to the top line, 20 million to the bottom. And oh, by the way, they've been around for the last 100 plus years. This is $1 plus stock if it's true. At least. You normally trade at 3 or 4 times sales in the automotive space, especially with a stock trading under $1. So again, in closing, it could be an outright fucking scam. They could be using this letter of intent to get somebody out of Dodge that they're in debt to. But what if it's for real? What if they're actually making a real transition from a biotech doing far less than $5 million in revenue to an automotive supplier that's got a century of fucking history that's doing 200 million in revenue? I mean, fully diluted at 150 million, last trade at 17. You're barely at what they're going to net to the bottom line in the next 12 months. This is a fucking dollar stock. I'm not saying I'm sticking around. I'm not saying it's going there. But if this fucking deal goes through and they keep it down in this level, I don't know, 16 to a quarter, and then they let it go once the lockup ends and they close the deal, you're going to see a fucking scalded dog. And until next time, always remember that I love you and do not invest any more than you can afford to lose. And oh, by the way, it's $20 to get started. Your first 2 months cancel anytime in the pinned comment below at trysmallbiz.com.